again. Hit it to the preset. Music for my. Yeah.
What's up, guys?
We are back again. This time we are doing a video on our labor and delivery. So with that being said, I'm gonna have him, well actually I'm gonna say something before he starts. So before we get into anything, when I want to talk about, because it's going to be mentioned, like I said, I want to talk about my blood type. I want to mention that because we almost lost our daughter. Well, not even almost. The first time wasn't even almost. It was like this close to losing her. So when I was 3 months, I was my body was naturally going through a miscarriage with her, and when I went to the doctors, they told me that I would need to get a shot called Rogam, which is for people with a certain type of blood type. So what that means is that my body doesn't produce the antibodies it needs to keep a baby. So my body thinks the baby is a virus. So every time I get pregnant, that's what my body would do naturally. So when I found that out, I was kind of like, felt like less of a woman because of that, because I can't carry like without help from a shot, which a needle is like, the needle is big. It's like this big, and it goes anywhere in your body. So I got it in my back. I got it on my back, not on my back, but like on my upper, like, you know,
Spine.
Not spine. It's like on my bum area. Don't want to say but anyway, so that happens at the beginning of the pregnancy. So your first, second, third, and after you give birth, if you're trying to get pregnant, then you'll more than likely like get it like probably 4 or 5 times. It all depends. So yeah, so when we almost lost her 4 times. Okay, 4. And I was due to that, and also stress, which was not helping. And another thing, when I was 7 months pregnant, I just had turned 7 months, I was already a centimeter dilated. That is not normal. That is not okay. So from there on out, I had weekly appointments from that. So yeah, so we're gonna go into labor and delivery. So we're gonna start from what? The shower? The baby shower? Or it was Thanksgiving.
It was Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, yeah. Thanksgiving of 2018. Very good.
Alright, so on Thanksgiving of 2018, she started having pains. A lot of pains. Like we didn't know, like, we're first time parents, so we didn't know if the pains was just a part of, you know,
Braxton Hicks, or
it just was just like slight, how do you call it?
I was transitioning,
Yeah.
Transitioning, my bad, to labor.
Or it was a part of the transition.
Yeah.
So we're due to this, we ignored it. She was getting a lot of pains around Thanksgiving.
I mean, Thanksgiving, not to sound gross, but I did notice that I was losing my mucus plug. Now, if anybody doesn't know what that is what keeps, you know, your baby. Well, when you lose your mucus plug, it doesn't mean your water breaks automatically. It doesn't work like that. So whatever you see in the movies, that's BS. When you lose your mucus plug, that means you're going in automatic labor.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes your mucus plug comes out clear, sometimes it comes out bloody. Everybody is different. If it comes out with a lot of blood though, ladies, please call your doctor. Do not,
please,
don't joke with that. So I did notice that any of like my mom friends or people that I knew that are moms, I asked, I was like, is that normal? They're like, you may end up going into labor. And I'm like, Okay.
Yeah.
No.
So, anyways, getting back to the Thanksgiving part.
That was a part of Thanksgiving.
Well, getting back to like on track with
Yeah.
So she's going into pains. We ignored it. Now, I didn't know much about it. I've looked up stuff on Google a little bit. She know, like what I would need to look out for. She started going into labor, and it was part of that process was, heavy pains where she can't stand, where she can't walk. That's how bad the pains. Now,
well, it was like that, but I think it got like that after Thanksgiving. It was that Saturday that we went walking. Remember? We walked around the complex like 10 times. I was like, I feel like I'm gonna have the baby this week.
So that day we came home, that was the day, right? Was it that Monday?
No. Saturday. Saturday we went walking.
Saturday we went walking around.
She was moving around in my belly. But then the next day was a Sunday. That was November 25th. Yeah, November 25th on a Sunday. We went to We2, which is the emergency room for moms that are expecting. Because like I said, she wasn't moving. So
yeah, she wasn't moving at all. So we got nervous. So anyways, what happened was she was walking around and we went into
We2.
Yeah, we went into We2 and they told her, they said that
I was still 1 centimeter dilated.
Yeah, she was still 1 centimeter dilated. So that was getting us both mad. She was in pain, but all they kept telling us, she was still 1 centimeter dilated. So I'm like, all right.
But with that being said, on the monitor it showed that I had contractions going, and I looked at her and I'm like, there's no way I could be 1 centimeter. So when we went home, I mean, it was like a typical night, really. It was nothing different until the next day. Remember that?
Yeah.
Jamel was sleeping, and it was exactly at 5:30 a.m. I woke up and I felt like I was gonna vomit. Now, usually when that happens, that means you're going into labor. So, sorry for the lighting that you can't see me. But so usually when that, like I said, when that happens, you end up, going into labor. That's a sign of it. I was in disbelief because I was 3 weeks early at the time. Well, she would be delivered at 3 weeks early. She's still a full-term baby, but she was still small. So I woke up, it's 5:30 in the morning. I told Jamel, I was like, I don't feel good. So then finally it was like 5 minutes after that, I went to the bathroom, and all of a sudden I call him over and I'm like, I'm freaking out, and I'm like, not freaking out, I'm like happy and excited, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I was like, Jamel. He was like, what? And I'm like, my mucus plug, I'm losing it. And he was like, what? And I was like, I'm in labor. I'm in actual labor.
I'm tired, so in my mind I'm like, a mucus plug. I knew what it is, but I'm like, what is a mucus plug? And I already knew what it is. I was just too tired for my mind to comprehend what she said.
Now, this is November 26th. Now, that's a Monday. So I went back to bed. No, did I call my grandmother?
You called your grandmother.
It was early in the morning. I called her, and then she came over, and she was like, she goes, you might be in labor. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I'm like freaking out, but I'm excited. And I'm like, shoot.
Did we go to the doctor that morning?
So I woke up at 5 hours after that, so it's 10 o'clock in the morning. I got up, I was having contractions, but like they weren't bad. Like they weren't even actually, now I'm gonna say they weren't even bad. I'm not even gonna lie. I was about to say that they were bad, but they really weren't when they were starting. It was uncomfortable though. It felt like period cramps. And then I made breakfast. But they started to they were every 9 minutes they were going. So 9 minutes would pass and I had a little tracker and I would time it how long it would be. It would be for 20 seconds and it would stop. And then as time went on, they would last longer. So I was just shit. Sometimes they will last long, sometimes they won't even last long. So I went and took a hot shower because I did my research and I was all right, I told your mom I'm gonna take a shower, a hot one, because if I am in labor, it will make it go quicker. Stupid me.
Pretty much. We waited the whole day out first. It was around night you took the shower, right?
No, it was during the day.
During the day, but then didn't you take another one?
No.
Okay, so
I didn't because it was too much.
Yeah,
so me taking that shower kind of intensified the contractions, little to my dismay. So I was uncomfortable. Then I just really stayed in the room after that. Then you came up and you gave me something.
Yeah.
What was it?
Tea?
Yeah.
It was tea.
With ginger, I think?
Ginger tea, I believe. I gave her ginger tea.
But it was fresh ginger, right?
Fresh, yeah. My grandmother made it.
I don't know what it was for. He'll probably be able to tell you because I didn't. I just drank it.
It was to help, reduce.
That sounds crazy. I said that.
They said it was the
to induce
remedy
it?
she made. It was a remedy to help reduce the pain, but help,
bring on the labor.
Yeah, help relax her body and bring on the labor.
I can tell you this much.
We don't have the remedy off rip, but when we get it, we will make another video and then we'll put it in the comments of that video following to this video.
Yeah.
But she made a remedy and that happened.
That was around 6.
So next thing you know, it was 7?
It was 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. All right. I'm off topic. All right. So 9 o'clock.
The pain intensified.
So from my view, my eyes, she dropped. Not drop, but she was on her knees in pain. And I called her dad. I said, I don't know what's going on. How do you know, if she's in labor or not? And I called a lot of other people, and they were all telling me the same thing. She would not be able to move. She wouldn't be able to stand. It would be to the point where you would have to help her get up. And when I told them, yeah, she's on the floor, and I have to help her get up, she can't stand. She could stand, but she can't stand without my help. They're like, yeah, she's in labor. She's about to give birth. You should rush her to the hospital. I'm like, all right. And her water didn't break or nothing. So we get to the hospital. Reason why, before people were oh, you should have brought her off rip. Reason why we didn't bring her off rip is because a lot of other people were telling us that, it's just part of the pain,
Well, not even that. I didn't even want to go straight to the hospital.
Plus that too. Yeah.
I didn't want to go straight to the hospital. I wanted to see how long I could last at home without,
yeah.
And my doctor already knew that. So it wasn't I was going to put her at risk. Yeah. But as soon as my pain intensified, I'll go, which it did. So it was 9:20. We went into We2. I explained what was going on.
And
well, I actually, hold on, before I get there, I walked to the car I wasn't even in pain, and I was in pain. And I walked, not gonna lie, everybody was they were in front of me, but I had to take my time. But I walked. And I walked myself into the hospital I was okay.
I walked you into the hospital.
I didn't have... You were standing next to me. But you weren't
I still helped you.
You know what you were standing next to me, though. I walked myself. I didn't have, you holding my hand or nothing.
No, of course not. But I was,
but you
you
were right there. Okay, but I walked... You're not... Man. Goodness gracious. You were next to me.
She don't remember. She was in it. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I remember.
Anyways, so what happened was we got to the car. I was gonna drive, but it was raining, and we needed somebody in the back to, you know, kind of comprehend the situation, calm her down a little bit, talk to her, take her mind away from it. So her aunt drove us, and I was in the seat. She was in the front seat. I was behind her, like,
Yeah.
pep talk, tell her stuff. She needed to hear to kind of relax her. We get there. We get out. We head inside. It's raining heavily, mind you. We get inside, and I'm just like, it's mind you, it's empty in there too. There's like a security guard. Who else? There was just one doctor. I think it was a security guard and one doctor.
It was a security guard.
Yeah, security guard there. But there was one doctor he called for us, come help us with the situation. They came and got us. We went into the room, and they sat her down, checked her vitals, stuff like that.
Well, the nurse was talking to me. She asked me what's going on. When she hooked me up to everything, she was like, she looked at the monitor and she was like, yeah,
those contractions.
Those are contractions. And I'm looking at them things, and those things are spiking.
Never spiking high.
I have a video. I listen. I was like, I don't even know how. I was laying on that bed, and we two just like, it felt like every single bone in my body was just breaking.
Yeah.
I was having front and back labor at that. That was terrible. So I'm just like, okay, I had to go to the girls' room, and when I went, I had a contraction, and I was like talking to her. I'm like, little girl, just let me go to the bathroom real quick, and you could go ahead and give mommy more torture. That's fine. So I come out and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just had a contraction. He's over here. He called his god sister. He was like, this is going on. And I'm like, he's over there talking, and I'm having a whole contraction. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, at that point, I was just like ready to just grab everything.
I called my god sister and I was like, she's having contractions. She's having pain. She was like, and I told her everything. She's like, yeah, she's about to have the baby. And I'm like, you think so? She's like, yeah. I'm like, I have that feeling, but like, I have my doubts, but I have that feeling she's going to. So, meanwhile, the nurse comes in the room, and she does a checkup, what is it called?
There was a nurse and there was a doctor that was on call. So the doctor that was on call came in. You went to the bathroom.
I went to the bathroom.
So I'm laying there, and they were like, we're gonna check you. In the middle of a contraction, they are checking my cervix. Now, the cervix is what the baby comes out of. Your cervix goes from being like this to then going like this for the baby to come out of. Okay, guys? There's 10 stages. So when you hit 10 centimeters, bam, baby. So I was already 5 centimeters. 5.
And you're supposed to be, what was the goal for them to get you 3.5? What was it, 3?
When you're 3 centimeters, they automatically admit you.
Induce you, yeah.
Not induce you. They'll admit you. If your labor doesn't keep progressing, then they'll induce you. Because that's you're risking the baby and you at the same time. So they were proud of me. They were like, you went a whole 5 centimeters and you're holding like a champ. And meanwhile, in the back of my head, I'm like, I'm dying. That's how I felt. Like, I couldn't move anything. It was just terrible. So they're hooking up IVs and stuff in my arm. He comes back from the bathroom.
Wait, let me explain my part before you
No, go ahead.
So I go to the bathroom.
And you come back.
Then I come back. And they tell me, she says, all I hear is, congratulations, you're going to have a baby. I'm like, what? What the hell did I miss?
I was smiling and I started
She's
crying.
Laughing and smiling and having mixed emotions, and I'm over here. What did I miss?
Nothing.
And she was like, she's 5 centimeters dilated. And then I'm like, alright, first things first. Alright, one thing, my mentor from college, he said, this has been in my mind all day, and then from stories I hear from her mom and everything, how she said somebody was passed out during the labor or seeing it or whatever, or they did pass out, and I'm like, I gotta be the person, I can't pass out. And then my mentor told me, he said, never look down, that is the goal, never look down. And I'm like, so this is playing in my head the whole time when she tells me this. I'm like, I'm about to go through this procedure. So what happened is I called my god sister, I told her, I said she's about to have a baby, called one of the my friends, close friends. I called him because he was the only one who picked up that night, and I called everybody. Called him and I said, listen, she's about to have a baby. He said, for real? He was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, Father Jack. I'm like, alright. And then he's like, yeah, go. I'm like, alright, I'm gonna head back now and go take care of it. So he told all my friends that was in the chat, because I guess they was in the party or whatever. He told them, and I'm getting texts from everybody and stuff like that, like, getting happy and all that. And the other child's godfather, he messaged me also. So he tells me this. I'm nervous. She's nervous, so she calls her mom.
I called my cousin first.
You called your cousin?
One of her godmothers, and then I called my mother, and she ended up showing up at the hospital after I got to my delivery room. All I remember is in the wheelchair shaking, because, you know, nobody ever says this, but when you're in labor, you end up having the shakes, and your body ends up cold, like ice cold. And that's not fun. I'm gonna be honest, it wasn't fun. I was just like cold the whole time and scared. So I'm in the wheelchair and I'm getting wheeled to my room. When I get in there, I'm getting dressed and I'm hooked up to all these monitors. The blood pressure thing is on my arm, and I had a nasty bruise from that, by the way. And I was uncomfortable. It was the most uncomfortable thing, but I was just like, we're about to have a baby. So at 11 o'clock, I'm in my delivery room. My mom comes in literally 5 minutes after I called her, and we're just all chilling in the room, relaxing. When you're in labor, you can't eat nothing. You could eat ice, you could drink, but you can't eat nothing. And they do ask you if you poop. If you did poop, I mean. Not if you poop, that's weird. But if you did not poop, I'm just saying this, heads up for anybody that's having a baby or is expecting, you do poop during delivery. If you did not poop before you went into the doctor and whatever, you'll more than likely poop. If not, it's fine, but you
Luckily,
will.
she didn't.
No, because,
No, it's because...
No, I did. Like, I did before that.
Oh.
That's why they asked.
Nobody needs to know this.
But if anybody's watching, they're gonna need to know.
Nobody needs to know that you did that.
Oh my god, whatever. It's a labor and delivery story. What the heck?
Yeah, not a labor and poop.
Shut up.
Delivering a baby,
So,
not your poop.
Jamal. Anyway, so they ask you all these questions, and that's one of them. And then they left. I was in and out of sleep. I was 6.8 centimeters, and that pain was intensifying. All I can tell you is brace yourself, because it is an unpleasant feeling. Okay? The worst pain any female, I think, can experience. It goes from being period cramps all the way up to something that not even period cramps anymore. So it was 1 in the morning, 1:30.
Yeah.
November 27th, 2018. It was 1:30. The nurse comes in and she's like, how you feeling? I'm like, I'm good. He's over here like half asleep, half not. And then she was like, let me know when your water breaks. I'm like, okay. She walks out. As soon as she shut that door, my water broke. So I'm laying there. And I'm like, oh. And I looked at Jamal and I was like, and I looked at my mom and I was like, guys, I think my water just broke. Yeah, it broke. I was like, I'm embarrassed. I think I feels like I peed myself.
Mind you, my dumb self half asleep. I'm like, I made a dumb comment. I'm like, I don't know why, not being weird, but when I heard your water broke, I got thirsty. I wanted some water.
Ew.
Not yours. It's just, I just wanted water.
Stop.
Like I was dry anyway because I didn't drink nothing all morning. I was half asleep.
I don't remember that part. All I remember is having my nurse come in.
I don't know why, but I'm thirsty.
Okay.
Ironic.
So after that, you know, they came in. Now when they put you in your like bed, they like give you pads and stuff, and they were like changing all that, and they were checking me. It was so annoying. Like it was painful. So even when you're in the middle of a contraction, they're gonna check your cervix, and it's the worst pain. So be prepared for anybody who's expecting, like I said. So at one point, well, before I started pushing, or even if I was going to, they would ask if you have to go to the bathroom. Now, if you can't walk, now, like I said, this is graphic, so don't want to hear it, then this is not a video for you. But they'll stick a catheter and try to get you to, you know, go. So that's a heads up. And it's, like I said, it's not pleasant. So let's see, it was what, 4 in the morning. Nothing really happened. I was 9 centimeters though. After I hit 5 centimeters, I was just going, like, my centimeters were just flying by like nothing. So 4 in the morning I was 9. 5 in the morning I was 10 centimeters, right? And they asked me if I wanted to start a push, and I was just like, yeah. And it was just me and him in the room. That's when you saw all these doctors walk in, and I'm like, sheesh, this is so uncomfortable.
I know they told us there was gonna be a team. I'm like, okay, maybe like 2 doctors, 6 doctors.
It wasn't 6,
5.
it was like 4.
Around there, I'm like, still, like,
It's a lot of people.
yeah. So we in there. She's attempting to push and, you know, get the baby out. I'm over here worrying, not passing out. I'm helping her, you know, situation, holding her legs and everything, doing my part, doing what I can. But I'm singing in my head. Out of nowhere, I just started making jokes. Everybody's laughing. All the doctors are laughing. I'm making jokes. They're laughing. And she's laughing too, but she's getting pissed. And then, we get like halfway into we're almost done. And I don't know what she's like. The doctor's telling her, you know, you can see the head coming. She's like,
well, before that even happened, I was pushing for an hour.
yeah.
An hour and 15 minutes. No, an hour and 14 minutes. Okay? An hour and 14 minutes. Now, the whole hour, the doctor's like, oh, I see her head. And I'm like, yeah. No.
They tell you that to get your hopes up so you could keep doing it and keep doing it. It gives you inspiration to keep pushing.
The head is the hardest part to get out.
And
Ladies.
I don't know if she heard me, but I was saying to her, I'm like, just keep pushing. Just keep pushing.
Yeah, I heard that. I did not forget that either. You was getting on my nerves with that, Dory.
So anyways,
At one point, I did tell him to look down.
she was like, Jamel, what does it look like? I'm like, I'm not looking down. She's like, just look and see what it looks like. No, I was specifically told not to. I ain't faking. Just do it. I'm like,
Everybody's laughing at that point.
See, I'm looking, I'm like, oh, hell no. I'm like, actually, this ain't so bad. I don't know why they said I'm gonna pass out and all this other stuff. So, anyways, I'm looking at it. And I'm like, it ain't so bad. Just, I guess it's the type of person you are. Give advice. Don't try to be like everybody else. Don't be scared because of the stories you heard. You gotta make your own story. You gotta make your own action. So my story was, I didn't faint. I wasn't scared, but I made a joke out of the whole thing. Got all the doctors comfortable. Got myself comfortable. Even her comfortable. As much she was laughing too. When she started laughing, I knew she was comfortable. So I made the moment easier by making jokes. Using what I do best. So make your own story. Be a follower, not a leader. Wait, be a leader, not a follower. Hold that thought.
So, through that whole entire thing, we pushing for an hour. Finally, it was 6 a.m. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I just want this to be done and over with. Now, meanwhile, I'm pushing. I have a doctor pushing on my stomach to help her slide out. And 6 a.m. finally her head. No, it was around like 6:10 around there. Finally, like her head was starting to come through. And then like after like 2 more pushes out of the 50,000 that I did, she was out at 6:14 a.m. And when I laid eyes on that look, oh my goodness, when I laid eyes on her, I was just like, I looked at Jamel and I was like, she looks just like you. But her little cry, oh my goodness. And she had like these big feet. She was just, I don't know how to explain it. I'm gonna start crying. Speaking of crying,
she came out, and then they put on her chest. They took her to the thing, and then they put her on her chest. Well, they put her on her chest first.
Yeah.
Then they took her to the thing, cleaned her off. Then
they weighed her.
To me. Then I handed her back to her. Then eventually, after like maybe 20 minutes, they did the whole process and everything. You know, don't want to get too into it, but they did the process, and they
while I was holding her, they took out my placenta. Now, the placenta obviously gives the nutrients to the baby, which is connected, you know, the cord and all that.
Key fact. Key fact. Which I think is gross, maybe because I'm a man.
But that's another birthing process.
Yeah, some people use the placenta as diet pills.
Okay, Jamal. Off topic.
Off topic, it's a key fact.
So all that happened. We were in the room for like 30 minutes, and before we went to like my room that I was gonna stay in, for the next, next 2 days. I mean, they made me go to the girls' room. Now, if anybody has a baby, they know that when you go to the bathroom after you give birth, you lose a lot of blood. When I say I was so dizzy, it was unbelievable. A woman's body is truly something. But after seeing all that blood, I was like, oh wow. Like, ooh. When I told my nurse, I'm like, is this normal? Because I was scared. Like, I thought I was losing too much. She's like, yeah, it's normal. Now, the best part about after giving birth and what helps the pain is this little squirt bottle that they give you, and you fill it up with warm water. It saves your life, and so does the witch hazel. Okay, I'll tell you right now, it saves your life.
So after that, I was tired. She was more up than I was. I don't know how.
I don't know either. I think it was just seeing her and finally holding her. She was 6 pounds, 8 ounces, and 20 inches long. And she was so tiny. Like, she didn't even fit into newborn. She was in preemie for a whole month, right? Yeah. She was so tiny and so fragile. So she was just... She came out with a full head of... Oh my goodness, like a full head of hair. Like, she was just... Oh my gosh.
She had a lot of hair. She got a lot of hair now, but she has a lot of hair. Anyway, so after that, after the whole process and everything happened, Mom came in, seen the baby, you know. Then we finally, they gave us some resting time, so we put the baby inside of a bed. Was it one of those
the little beds that they put the babies in and stuff?
Baby bed, you know, newborn bed, call it that. And she started resting, we started resting. But didn't I get us? Did your mom drop off us food or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dropped us off food, and we was just, I was out. I had to eat just like nothing. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed every bite of that food. I know she did, but I enjoyed it, and I was asleep. And then the next morning, her dad brought us food too, and I enjoyed that also, but I was knocked out.
Anyway, so November 27th, 2018, 6:14 a.m. Legacy Vivencio was brought into this crazy hectic world. The most perfect, happy, just, gosh, crazy personality that she has. It's just
Energetic, outgoing,
smart, extremely smart.
no filter.
Yeah, she's a jokester. She was brought into this world. It was a crazy, hectic beginning, and I know the crazy and hectic has not ended. It's gonna be ongoing for the rest of our lives, but I'm ready for it, you know?
If you have a child, after you have a child, it's possible.
It really is. There's gonna be negative stuff that's gonna be said. People are gonna try to control you. Don't let it happen.
No.
Do you. Focus on your family. That's all that matters. If there's any single moms out there, like the advice that I'm giving right now, so same goes for you. Same for the single fathers. Do your thing. Don't pay attention to what everybody else says.
So y'all thing benefits you and the baby.
Exactly.
It's beneficial.
If you're happy, do it. Don't care. Don't matter. If you got the money, do it. Do your thing. Like I said, the only one that's gonna sit there and judge you, and not the only one that can judge you, is the man upstairs. That's it. So,
if God supplies it, you cannot deny it.
amen. But yeah, so that is our video.
One quick thing.
Oh,
What I was gonna say. After that day, I realized the best thing, despite how aggy, irritating, annoying, all this other stuff women can sometimes be, goes for men too. Best thing a woman can do is have a child. But I'll tell you, during that whole process, those 2 days, I felt the closest to her and the baby I've ever felt. It was peaceful because it was like there was no bills I had to worry about, no problems. The only problem was me taking the best advantage of that moment. So that's what I did. So be thankful, be happy, stay humble, and live your life.
all right, guys. So, are you?
I'm done.
Okay.
I ain't got nothing. Listen, I'm wise, but I ain't got that much words of wisdom. Go ahead.
All right, guys. So this is the end of our video. hope you enjoyed it.
Sound like a southern aunt. Go ahead. No disrespect.
Anyway, make sure leave a comment. Make sure you like and subscribe and share this video, because honestly a lot of people leave stuff out. And yeah, I mean, we got more stuff coming, especially her first birthday is literally in, oh my gosh, in 8 days.
And her first live actual Christmas, where she can be able to open her presents.
I can't wait for that one.
Can't wait for that.
Cannot wait.
And we got her Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah,
That's coming up too.
Thanksgiving is the day after
And
her
we got
birthday.
her first actual New Year's.
So we have a lot of stuff coming up, so make sure to stay tuned. And all right guys, we are out. Bye.
Bye.